Welcome, and once again, I'm not sure what I'm talking about as soon as I start recording, but I will get there as this lovely, cloudy day. It's supposed to rain. Well, not really. A slight chance of rain. But it just is weird. If you've never been to the San Francisco Bay Area, one of the things you will notice is that it could be warmer than it was the day before and feel significantly colder. It depends on the wind. And last week it was in the 40s when I went for my walk and I got hot. This week it's in the 50s and I'm getting cold. I know, exciting stuff. One of the things I often joke about, besides smashing buttons, is that I hate the white cane, the mobility cane, the one with the red tip, even though apparently that red tip isn't necessary to be a mobility cane or be considered one. That's all weird. Probably depends on where you're located too. But there are definitely advantages to the cane over a guide dog. One of the biggest is you never have to take your cane poop. You don't have to worry about where you're going with the cane. You don't really have to manage anything but make sure you just have the cane. And the cane will get you places. Sometimes it has some benefits, like you're a little bit more aware of the ground. And it takes up less space, draws about as much as attention, but I've never had anybody come up and ask me about my cane. However, the reason why I like the guide dog more is they have their own sense of awareness and they're trained to notice obstacles. Though of course, this one doesn't always notice obstacles for me. He notices them for him all the time. So sometimes he's like, he'll walk me off a sidewalk or run me into something he's not aware of. So the other thing that the dog do that the cane do not is orientation. The cane can't move in any direction other than what you point it to. However, the guide dog can, if you train them, take you to specific places, take you out of a building once you're inside of a building, no matter where you are, reorient you if you have a spot that you train it to take you to. It makes you kick leaves, or is that a plastic bag? I don't know. But you just kind of, I hate the word kind of. I've gotten better at not saying it, but I noticed I just said it. So with the guide dog, you of course have to take care of it. You have to feed it on a schedule, relieve it on a schedule, take them for walks, get them exercise, play with them. But like I also say, you can't pet a cane, and a cane won't stare at you and make you wonder what you are doing wrong or what the dog needs. So it's a give and take, it's a balance of what you want. Because I know quite a few people that would never get a guide dog because they love their canes and they don't see why you need a guide dog. And then there's a lot of guide dog owners that are the opposite, like me. And then of course there's in between people who aren't really sure which one they want or don't like either. Too bad there aren't a lot of other alternatives. Echolocation is not all that accurate. Like I was saying in yesterday's short, there are times when the sounds get overwhelming and your body just tenses up and won't let go because it's in defense mode, because it doesn't know what is going on. Or other times when, like an airplane is flying overhead, traffic noises get out of the way. Okay, Cameron, right? Traffic noises, airplanes, they'll drown each other out. Sounds will echo in weird locations so you can't figure it out. Like the other day when I was coming to that corner apparently there was a vehicle blocking the sidewalk. Thanks to my viewer who told me about that. Like I've said before, my screen reader is terrible at names, and I can't write them down and look at them. So I'm sorry if I don't say your name, but thank you for letting me know that I made the right choice in turning around, because I don't know if you could tell, that intersection is not a very safe intersection with that fence going way out there. It's a fairly busy intersection. I can use it if I need to, but there's an alternative way to get there that I don't think takes any longer, that I feel safer doing. And so I can use a cane. I will use a cane if I need to. There are certain times where the cane would be more convenient, like going out dancing or to the bar. Even like restaurants at times, depending on how cooperative he is, how clean the floors are, is either a little bit more stressful until I can calm him down, or he's perfectly fine right away. I do have to manage him, make sure he's not going to get stepped on or trip people. So can't just go to a restaurant and completely relax. It's probably not as bad as having toddlers and the amount of attention you need, but it does take a lot of effort to have a guide dog that you don't really have with the cane. But I still like the guide dog. The guide dog makes it more comfortable for me to walk. One of the things I did not like about the cane is it constantly would get stuck on things. And since I'm a pretty fast walker, that's one of the other things. You control how fast you go with the cane. The guide dog controls how fast you go with the guide dog. But I would walk pretty fast with the cane, and it would hit little dips and ledges and stuff on the sidewalk, and it would jam me in the gut or try and spring out of my hand. Also, hitting people in the ankles with the cane makes me feel bad. But if they don't notice me and I don't notice them, that's what's going to happen. As I sweep the cane, and it will either hit their shoe or their ankle. So I'm pretty sure it's not going to hit them higher up, because I'll run into them before that happens. But without the cane in the early times, I would have struggled getting around. Even though I had more vision, the vision that I had was tricky, because it made me think I could see things that I obviously could not. Even with my vision, I was like less than 1% visual acuity, or the peripheral vision. And I think somewhere around 20% is considered legally blind. And what's interesting is I don't know if the spot that I had vision in my left eye was always off center, and when I had vision in my right eye was more dominant and more clear, so I didn't notice the left eye until the right eye went. And for all intents and purposes, I consider myself to be blind in my right eye with some visual acuity in my left. Because my right eye, if I close it, the most I can tell is whether there's light or not. As if my eyelid was closed. I just tested to tell if my eyelid was closed or not. So it is getting a little bit more light with it open than closed. So that's why I have a guide dog. I do have the cane. I do occasionally use the cane. I also have a lighter, thinner identity cane in case there's moments where I'm somewhere where Cameron cannot guide me, like in a store with narrow aisles, some theaters. And a lot of times I go with other people though. Oh, that's the other thing. This one does not guide very well when I'm out with friends, because he's all like, hey, there's people here, let's just follow them. I don't care about curbs, let's just go right up the curb. What, a blind man is attached to me? He doesn't see the curb? Ah, that's no big deal. He'll figure it out. Which means I either take human guide, which is more convenient for all of us, or have to constantly stop and correct him. And since usually when I'm out with friends, we don't have a lot of time for me to correct him, and oftentimes by the time I would correct him, time has passed and interactions have happened. There's a small window with dogs to get them to realize the thing they did wrong, and if anything else pops up between that moment, you've lost that correction time. I mean, I could go back and just remind him of curbs and what he's supposed to do at a curb, or whatever other obstacle he ran me into. People obstacles are also a very weird one, because for some reason people don't get out of the way. They will stop and look at me and expect me to figure things out. And then I'll just run into them because I don't know they're there. And Puppy is excited about something. And most people don't want to stick around and let me correct. That's the funny part. Is if he runs me into obstacles, I'm supposed to train him, tell him no, back him up and have him try again. People don't want me to like tap them and go no, or to stand around to see if I run into them again. Such is life as a guide dog owner. None of those things you have to worry about with a cane. And still I choose a guide dog. There is a newsletter I have, the link is below. I have another channel, Monday through Friday, 30 seconds or less of music news headlines. And I do have music on this channel, so go check them out. Do all the good things, smash the buttons, like, subscribe, share. Apparently ringing the bell still works, even though I don't hear people say that anymore. Good boy, Cameron, hop up. And finally, leave a comment. Thanks, love and peace.